The popularity of Bitcoin, alternative currencies, and the blockchain is increasing daily. All you have to do is search Google Trends for the three terms to see how often people consult them in the most used search engine in the world. Google Bitcoin. In general, the term Bitcoin is the most sought after compared to others such as cryptocurrency, altcoin, or blockchain. So have you noticed the same thing that we did? Right. The search level of Bitcoin in Google is in an amazing match with respect to the price of the cryptocurrency itself. Whatever the search term is, whenever it coincides with any word related to digital currencies, it is suffering from an inordinate increase in searches with respect to recent years. So search for Bitcoin in Google, search for cryptocurrencies in Google, and search for blockchain on Google. Fortunately, not all people or groups have the best intention and often take advantage of the little experience of the new ones that discover the Bitcoin ecosystem and all its advantages. But in this lesson, we'll analyze different scams ordered by categories and explain how to stay safe and how to stay away from them and prevent more than one scare. So using an updated and secure operating system with antivirus that are the order of the day in terms of updates is the first aspect to consider. The number of users who use Windows is higher than other operating systems such as Linux. So their chances of success are much higher, and Windows devices installed on it are the main target of these attackers. Sometimes people often use Linux to avoid this problem, but we must not get confused. Using Linux without the proper protections in the file system is also an open door to possible theft. It is very important to be clear that the securization of the work environment is very important both for prevention and for the detection of scams. Then we will separate the incidents that can happen in three large groups such as software, the web, and the investment. So why in these three categories? Well, very simple. Not all scams related to Bitcoin happen from computer programs. Many of them can be intimately linked to participation in investments or projects related to the cryptocurrency ecosystem without the need to go through a software or a web page. Now here's some prevention tips. Store the smallest amount of Bitcoin possible in hot wallets. Cold wallets, as paper wallets or hardware wallets, are a very good option to add a double layer of protection against unwanted withdrawals. Encrypt all the portfolios that you have in your Bitcoin wallet. At the point of trying to make a withdrawal, the attacker will have it much more complicated to make any withdrawal of Bitcoin from your wallet. So check the versions that are downloaded from the wallets and their signature. Normally the developers publish all the updates along with instruction to verify the signature of their versions. Avoid downloading suspicious content from emails with a forged domain that emulates related to Bitcoin. Consult portal integrity of downloaded files and Bitcoin scams at the whole level. Have you ever heard of the word phishing? So by using this technique, a web page is created that is practically similar to that of any online exchange or peer's house. Attackers usually publish it on links very similar to the one of the company to which it is being replicated. It attracts traffic to the website, and people agree that they will enter your account when they are actually sending the data to the person who is stealing them. And one of the most common examples is the one that has occurred on at least half a dozen occasions replicating the browser and wallet online blockchain.info, one of the most used Bitcoin purses, and putting an example and with a domain that only replaced the I by a capital I would have the blockchain.info domain. Next, they promote the link using the Google Ad Plans, Google AdWords, so that your portal appears in the first position when people search for blockchain.info, blockchain or wallet Bitcoin online, and all kinds of similar terms. And as you can deduce, the amount of users who fall for this type of cheating is enormous. The consequences, well, total or partial loss of your Bitcoins when losing access to your accounts, the exposure of personal data to the attacker. Many of the portals that they could access may contain private information, but there's some prevention. Use double authentication factor or 2FA in all your portals. In this way, whenever someone wants to access them, they will find a second key they do not have. And always verify that you are accessing correct web addresses and not fraudulent links in Google Ads. Check that the connection is secured with the Candidato icon next to the URL in your browser to prevent your data from being intercepted. Uh, for the example of Identity, well, realname.co, for example, but the scams are present daily with euros, dollars, or any other currency you can imagine. And the purpose of this lesson is that you are alerted to the different types of scams that you can find and always investigate before purchasing any software, asset, or participation in a project. That is why we wanted to show you some typical cases, but they are not the only ones. However, I hope that with the shared tips, I can have turned your eyes into agile detectors of scam and now in which direction to run once you find yourself in front of them.